In the late 70s, growing up in Kingston, I experienced hardship, hard life. It was tough, but I used to ask myself a lot of questions, important questions to say, is there a better life out there? When I asked myself, what's missing? As I grow older, I found the answer. Two very, very important things. One, mentors. I needed a mentor to guide me. And the second thing that I recognized that was missing was leadership. People who are visionaries. And as a result, I said to myself, I want to become a motivational speaker. But what helped me and what helped cause that transition was education. Jamaica is known for a lot of things: sports, entertainment, foods, you name it. But I wasn't good at any of those things. The only thing that was there left for me was education, and I went that way.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Meta Transitions. I am your host, Trisha K. Williams, and I'm here today with Leighton Robinson. Leighton is a motivational speaker, a talk show host, an author. He is the founder of Leighnibor Academy and a motivational speaker, coaching, and mentoring company. Welcome, Leighton, to our show today.
Thank you so much, Trisha. It's a pleasure to be here. And hi, everyone out there watching. Thank you for joining us.
Yes. All right. We're so excited to have you with us, Leighton. We're going to start with the first question. What is your transition story?
Okay. Now, to answer that, I have to go back to see where it all started. For me, it started in Kingston, Jamaica. In the late 70s, growing up in Kingston, I experienced hardship, hard life. The worst of life could be. And for me, it was tough, but I used to ask myself a lot of questions, important questions to say, why are life like this? Why is it like this? Is there a better life out there? Can I have a better life? And the best thing I've ever done was to ask those questions, because those questions lead me to the transition we're going to talk about right about now. Now, when I asked myself, what's missing? As I grow older, I found the answer. The things that were missing from my life, from my community, from Kingston, Jamaica. Two very, very important things. One, mentors. I realized if I needed a mentor to guide me, to guide us, not just me, the community. We lack that mentorship around us where it can help us to move us from where we are to where we want to go. And the second thing that I recognized that was missing was leadership. Leadership, true leadership, people who are visionaries, people who have a vision, a direction on how to move us towards those goals. Those are the things missing. And as a result, I said to myself, I want to become a motivational speaker, right? But what helped me and what helped cause that transition was education. Growing up in Jamaica, Jamaica is known for a lot of things: sports, entertainment, foods, you name it. But I wasn't good at any of those things. The only thing that was there left for me was education, and I went that way. I went to school without lunch, without, you name it, transportation. I went and I learned and I got my education, and I got my first job, really, really good job that, changed things for me. Basically moved me out of poverty into be able to live a good life, enjoyable life. And for me, I said to myself, education saved me, it can save you too. And as a result, I went on a mission to help others, educate, inspire, motivate, guide, be mentors for others, because those are the tools we need to help us to get to where we want to go.
Wonderful.
Please tell me that I answer your question.
Yes, you did. You had me at Jamaican. I was just like, there's another brother in the house.
Yes, right?
I'm Jamaican too. So
Nice.
it's
Yeah, yeah,
exciting
of
to speak
course.
with another
Yes.
Jamaican, which is great. I know my accent
Nice.
isn't here, so you probably didn't realize, but I can hear yours loud and clear. So,
Thank you. I'm here 10 years now in Canada.
okay.
But I keep my roots. Every so often I go back, to dip myself back in the culture and come back and say, yeah, man, Wagwan, everything good? Yeah.
Yes. All right.
What I
No, so
get.
I think what I heard from you there is, growing up in Jamaica, experienced a lot of hardships. So there were some hardships, there was some, things that you had to do, which I completely understand. That idea of, not having a lot of opportunities at your fingertips. Basically, to get out of poverty or to get out of a certain mindset, education is the only way out. And it's sort of like you're just in that mindset, and everybody's in the same mindset because everybody wants to get somewhere. Everybody wants to, be successful. And success in Jamaica is you get an education, you make sure you get a good job, and then life, feels successful for you, right? And I think what I'm hearing from you is that you recognize that piece of it, and you want to also share with other people the idea that, you know what, you can find the sense of, motivation, in educating yourself and learning more, and you turned it into a business, it sounds like.
It is. Yes, it is. It is. And of course, we talk about, you mentioned a few things about the talk show host, speaker, and author, of course. Now, can I run through each of them?
Of course, please go ahead.
Let's start with motivational speaking. I started in Jamaica as a teacher. For me, growing up in Seaview Gardens, Kingston,
Yes.
I wasn't a good reader. I couldn't read properly, but I had a gift. My gift was mathematics. I could solve any mathematical problem in seconds, even if I've seen it for the first time. It saved me. It took me through primary school to high school and university. Yeah. After my education, I started teaching. I started tutoring maths because in school I used to tutor my classmates. That's how I got some lunch, and after school, I started Leighnibor Academy as a math tutoring program, and I've been doing it since '96. While I was teaching maths, I observed something. In my classroom, I realized everybody learning at different pace. Some learning, some not. And I'm asking myself, why? What's missing? What's the problem here? And as a result, I started to look deep into each student to say, what is it? What is it that you want? What are you thinking? And through that, I pounced on two things that helped me. One, I pounced on the Maslow hierarchy of needs.
Yes.
Maslow. And I realized that one, our basic needs are important, and we focus on the lowest need that is unfulfilled. And until that is fulfilled, we will not move to the next. And I realized when I look at students in the inner city, a lot of them worrying about their safety, their meal. And I realized that's one thing. The next thing is, I realize a lot of students don't really know what they want. They're not sure what they want. I'm here teaching them 1 + 1 = 2, and they're like, I just want to draw that building. You understand? And as a result, again, I start to say, what do I do with this information? What I realize is that there's something that is more, that come before academics. And that is personal development, knowing who you are and what you want for yourself, for your life. And as a result, I shifted from academics and started to do personal development, motivational speaking, and talk to people to help them to identify who they are, what they want, and also recognize your needs, your unfulfilled needs, and how to fulfill them. Because until you do, it will prevent you from progressing in life. Which leads me to the second thing, author. Author. Through my research and speaking, I started to write a book on human needs. Identify your needs and fulfill your goals. Because what I realized, as I've said, unless you identify your needs, and you are unable to fulfill them. And without fulfilling them, you are unable to progress. Beautiful book. Hopefully, I want to get it out by summer of this year. At least by the end of this year, it should be out.
All right.
One more thing.
Yes.
Talk show host. Now, growing up, recognizing the importance of mentorship, that is one of the things that I lack. And as a result, I started a show. I call it Profile. And what I'm doing with this show is where I am sharing stories of ordinary people doing extraordinary things in this world. Because one of the things I realize is that we need mentors, but we can make mentors from the people around us. Right? We just need to empower them. We just need for them to recognize their ability, their success, and how they can help others. Through Profile, which is a program that I created, I bring people from the community to come on this show, tell us your story, talk about your struggles, your journey, how you overcome challenges, how you become successful, what kind of advice, how can you help the next person who is struggling, who is facing similar obstacles and giving up? How can you tell them to continue, keep going? It's a good program. It's doing very well. I'm appreciating the impact it is having on the community, and I'm in talks with television channels. I'm in talk with Shaw TV and a few others because I'm looking to get it on television, and seems like it's gonna happen. So I'm looking forward to that, to have Profile on TV. There's a lot of things in the works, a lot of things. I'm enjoying what I'm doing. I love to motivate, inspire people. And
wonderful. No, I'm happy to hear it. When you hear other people, doing great things with their life, and it sounds like you're using your life story in a way to inspire others, and you're looking at the different skills that you have, and you're using them as well, to motivate and to help other people to do what you're doing too. And I think that is amazing. I guess one thing I could ask is, while you were on your journey, at what point did you recognize that you wanted to do these things? Like, at what point did it sort of, the light bulb just go off in your brain and you said, you know what, this is what I should be doing?
For me, at the age of 11 years old, it was a point in my life where I said, I was young, never experience anything of really good in life, but I had the ability to, we had television, and I was able to see the lives of other people. And I realized that there's a better life out there. And from then I decided that I wanted to have a business. Yeah. And from then, Leighnibor was born. Yes. Right?
Yes.
Yeah, the name, the idea, Leighnibor, I'm gonna call it. And from then at that time I said, I want to do something big in life, right? Growing up, going through the teenage years into early 20s, the maths, that gift. I remember when I was in high school, in third form, I was solving maths problem like, easy. And what happened was my teacher, each time he brings out a new concept, he has to go over it over and over and over. But I would get it on the first time he says it. And I remember one day I said, you know what, let me explain it. Let me explain it to the class. I said, all right, come explain it. And I went up and I explained it to the class, the way I learned and absorbed that information. I said it. And they were like, I get it. And since then, every time the teacher brings out a new concept, it was like, all right, come late.
He was grooming you, man. New apprentice.
Yes. And then after school, while we were preparing for CXC, After class, we would stay back, and I would go over, tutor my class, the school, everybody would prepare for exam. Yeah, and that is where that gift, that's what I call it, my gift to do maths. That gift turned into something that I recognize and say, hey, you're not only good at maths, but you're good at helping others. You're good at it. And I said, you know what? I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this. And that's when I started teaching. After leaving school, I started to teach maths, yes. And then doing maths, going up into the 20s to 30s, then is when I realized that, you know what, I don't just want to help 10 students or 20. I want to do something bigger. I want to touch the world, and I want to inspire people. I want to motivate. I want to lead people. I want to lead people. Can I say something?
Yes.
I don't know if you're going to ask me this down the line, but my end goal, what I want to do, I really want to lead a nation. And Jamaica is on my radar. I tell myself by the time I turn 50, I want to go back to Jamaica and lead that country. And I tell myself I'm going to do a 5 years campaign, because I don't want to do politics. When I was in university, I ran for student reps, student at UTEC. Never like it. It was bitter. And I said, I don't want to do politics. I want to lead, but not politics. So I want to do a 5 years campaign. And what I want to do is over 5 years is to spread a message of hope, direction that I want, so that when it's time for election, when I said, you know what, I'm running, I want to have my people know me, know my vision, everything, and be able to decide, do you want this or not? That's the end goal.
Wonderful. No, it sounds like you're, really dreaming big, right? And I think that that's what I've heard from what you've said so far. From that 11-year-old, you decided that you saw a vision of the possibilities of what you could be, and you named it. So you were intentional as well. So you dreamed, and then you were intentional about that dream. And it sounds like every step of the way you did just that. You opened opportunities for yourself, and you walked into those opportunities with wide eyes. And I think a lot of times I listen to, I guess, individuals that come from a poor background, or individuals that come from a third world country, an island, and right? So it's sort of that idea that despite where we're coming from or what we're doing, there's this sense of wanting more, and wanting to dream big, and wanting to accomplish more than we see. And I think a lot of the times it comes from that sense of the hardship, where if you decide to only look at what you see in front of you, then life will be hopeless, right? But if you choose to dream bigger than what you see, then it gives you a sense of meaning and purpose. And I think that's what I hear in your story.
It is. There is a quote that says, the same hot water that hardens eggs is the same hot water that softens potato, right? And it is said that we're always in hot water. So we have to decide, are we the egg or the potato, right? We're just in line with what you have said. We go through hardship, which is like the hot water. And going through it, we ask ourselves, what are we going to do with this? What are we going to do with this? And for me, I said, you know what? I'm not going to give up. I'm not going to be a victim. I'm going to use it to do something bigger than myself. Right? And yes, that's what I'm doing. Yeah.
Wonderful. It's very inspirational. And I'm glad to have had this conversation with you, for sure. I'm wondering, what tips do you have that you could give to people that are listening out there, who maybe want to do big things, but they're just short-sighted. They're just sort of only able to see what's in front of them.
Good question. No, I'm 43 years old. Gonna be 44 soon.
Yeah.
When I was 11 years old, I believe something. I saw something, but it took 20 years past. I turned 30. I never achieved it. Why? It was here. I felt it, but I never had the confidence. I had doubts. I questioned myself. Can I do it? Can this guy who grew up in Seaview Gardens, who went to school barefoot, can he do this?
Mm-hmm.
Doubt. The first thing is believe. Believe in you. Believe in your ability. Believe in your dreams. If your heart tells you you can do this, you can.
Yes.
You can. That's the first step. The second step is act on it. Act on it. There's a way. There's a way. There's a way. If support system is good, I agree, you cannot do it on your own. Know what you want to do. Know who you are. Know what you want. And then figure out how are you going to do it, the steps to it. You follow?
Yes.
Yeah. Right. So believe in yourself and go after your dreams. Go after it with everything you have. Yeah.
Wonderful. No, thank you so much for those tips. No, it's great, that you're here in the flesh, and you talked about that idea that it took you years to get to the place where you were willing to like, basically jump into that dream that you dreamt at 11 years old. And I think that sometimes it takes people many different years to get to that place. And I was talking to someone earlier today, and we're talking about this idea that everybody's on a different track, or everybody's journey is different. And maybe you had to go through those 30 years with whatever the experience you got within that time for you to be able to jump into this situation and this dream at this point in time. So who knows, you are being prepared maybe for this moment.
Yes, it is. It is. It is for sure. Thank you. And for me, one of the things that held me back over the years is that I believe in something that I am able to. I can do it. I believe. But as I mentioned earlier, what was lacking in my life is mentors. I lack it, and that is one of the things that took me so long, because every step of the way I felt as if I was reinventing the wheel. I was figuring things out on my own, right? And another mistake I made was trying to do everything by myself. The turning point for me is when I see the importance of teams, mentors. I got myself business coaches. I got myself mentors, because I realized it's not too late. It's not too late. I got them and they're helping me. And another thing I do is have a team, a support team, moral support, physical support. And it's still me. It's still my drive. It's still my vision, but I'm not doing it alone.
Yes. I'm so glad you said that. That last tip is, sometimes you need a supportive circle around you. You need people who are going to be speaking it into your ear and helping to motivate you as you go along. Because like you said, doubt is a huge part, and it sounds like a huge part of, holding you back, and probably a lot of people back. And it sounds like you're willing to leave doubt behind so you can step into your purpose. And it's great to hear that, you were able to seek help.
Yes. And remember, it's not easy. It's easier said than done. We know what we want, what needs to be done. We know where we want to go. But those steps, they're not easy. And as a result, educate yourself, get the necessary training, skills required. Yeah, yeah. I believe I can change the world, but it needs skills, training to do it. Get the training, develop the skills, get support, you know, get a mentor, get a mentor.
Get a mentor, people.
Get
Yes.
one, get
Yes.
one, don't get one. It makes, a mentor will help you to get to your goals much sooner. Remember that.
Yes.
Remember that. Yeah.
No, thank you so much for being here with us, for sure. I really enjoyed this conversation, right? And I could see how a lot of people would really jive well with you because you're very inspirational and you really dream big, which is great. And I agree completely. A lot of times, you go through life and you think that you can do it by yourself. But once you align yourself with people that are supportive, people who can, push you the next, up to the next step, and you recognize how, two is better than one, right? So definitely agreeing with the mentorship for sure. All right. So Leighton,
Yeah.
tell us how we can contact you. People out there want to get a mentor, people out there want to find somebody who can help to motivate them. How can they reach out to you?
Thanks for asking. And of course, I'm here for you, each and every one of you. I'm here. I'm here because what I want to do is to inspire people, help people, guide people towards, achieving their goals and living their best life. You can find me on all social media at Leighnibor Academy. You can see our program on YouTube at Leighnibor Academy, our website, leighniboracademy.com. And my phone number is 604-376-4353. Leighton Robinson, I'm here for you always. Let's achieve our goals together. Okay.
Wonderful. Thank you for sharing that. So we will be putting Leighton's contact information in our description box below. Please go and check out Leighton's contact information, his social handles, and reach out to him because you need that mentorship. All right. Well, thank you, Leighton, for being with us.
And before I go, I want to say, Trisha, you and your team, your program, you're doing a wonderful job. I appreciate what you're doing. Keep doing it. Keep inspiring. Keep helping, motivating, and guiding people towards their goals so that they can live their best life. Thank you. Keep doing what you're doing, and I appreciate you so much for having me on your program today. Thank you.
You're welcome. You're so welcome. Thank you for being here.